Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So today we bring you loot from 1,000 bronze keys, and these keys are a reward from Shades of Morton minigame. To obtain them, you have to burn the remains of lore shades, which is exactly what we did, purchasing all of the remains in the Grand Exchange, as well as the oak pyre logs for about 1.4 mil. And this is important to mention because had we purchased the Fringe Shade remains instead of the lore, we would have been able to obtain 5 different bronze keys instead of 3. Unfortunately though, the reason we couldn't obtain any Fringe Shade remains to get those 5 keys is simply because no one is currently selling any. The daily volume is sitting at around 60, so finding 1,000, even trying to purchase them for up to 10k each, was impossible. I know that may be a letdown to some of you, but don't worry, these 3 keys featured in this video have a wide variety of loot, some valuable, some not, and on top of all that, we can't expect to see a good amount of easy clue scrolls since the drop rate for that is only 1 in 33. But before we get started, we do have some quick words from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. So mostly all of you already know about Raid Shadow Legends, but did you know that it is Raid's 2nd anniversary? That's right, it's been 2 years since Raid burst onto the scene and completely took over mobile gaming. And let's be honest, they took over advertising too. Since all of that, Raid has only gotten bigger and better. The incredible graphics and the competitive gameplay, battling bosses and forming your own clan, so many different things that this game offers. It's no wonder why millions of people continue to play it. And let's not forget, it is mobile and PC friendly, being 100% free to play and try out. My personal favorite part about the game is all the different champions you can collect and customize to your liking. I know if I could be any champion, I would certainly choose the miscreated monster, the leader of the Night Revenant faction. He often saves his team when all hope is lost, and you can only admire that. Even the reaction to Raid Shadow Legends online has taken the internet by storm. It's almost comical at this point how often you see Raid around, but it's all for a good reason, and that is because the game is simply the best mobile game of its time. Check out the links in the description below and you can start right away. If you want the best weekly rewards, join a clan and fight the clan boss. Don't forget, the fastest way to level up is through farming the campaign. You grind XP and you get loads of silver and a few artifacts at the same time, and since this month is Raid's 2-year anniversary, the schedule is packed with amazing events. They have 6 straight weeks of anniversary events and tournaments running from March 1st all the way to the middle of April, all of them having insane prizes to win. They're even launching their first ever clan versus clan tournament to give players a chance to compete directly against another clan to see who comes out on top. And if that's not enough, they're also releasing the first champion in the badass Shadowkin faction, which I cannot wait to see. Raid is huge already, so don't waste your time. Their whole anniversary is going to make this an awesome time to join, so don't wait too long. If you want to get a huge head start in Raid, all you have to do is hit the link in the description or scan my QR code and you'll get your free epic champion, Jotun, who is amazing for the Doom Tower. 100,000 silver, 50 gems, and 3 ancient shards on top of all of that, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in game. All of this treasure will be waiting for you here, and I will see you there. Alright, back to the video. So, the newest Shade of Morton rewards that were released into the game January 27th, 2021 are shown on screen here. Might as well talk a little bit about them while we make the keys for this video. First, we have the Tree Wizard's Journal, which when you open it, you can receive a rune scroll of swamp bark. This scroll can be read to then unlock the ability to create swamp bark armor. The next reward is Bloody Notes, and if this will give you a rune scroll of blood bark, unlocking the ability to create blood bark armor. Now these are more common to receive if you use higher tier keys, but since in this video we were using the lowest tier, unfortunately none were seen throughout the making of this video, which is a little surprising because you'd think 1,000 keys used would at least result in some rares. Creating the keys as shown on screen here is quick and easy, especially if you have a Morton teleport accessible, and of course the gold coffin on your back. Once all the keys are created, you can just run north into the wooden doors and then head a little west, which you'll see here in a second, second, and then you can just start opening all the chests. After burning 1,000 remains, we only had 783 keys, so that's why it did cost a little bit extra in order to receive all 1,000 of them. Sometimes instead of getting a key, you can just get coins instead, so that's why it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, but if it was, it would have saved us a little bit of money. But either way, 1,000 keys was obtained, and now it is time to find out what is the loot that we're going to receive from all of these keys, and if we're going to make any profit at all after spending 1.4 mil on all of this. For the first few inventories, 20 keys was being brought, but after a while I realized 16 would work better due to the amount of items that you can get from one inventory of these keys, and anytime an easy clue scroll was obtained, it was completed right away, and the reason for that is simply because it did cost 1.4 mil just to do this video, and since a lot of this loot isn't the most expensive, if we have to rely on the luck from the easy clues to make us some profit, then so be it. It's always worth doing those clues, especially at a 1 to 33 drop rate. The graphics in this area are pretty nice. It's definitely a nostalgic area. It's been in the game for a very long time. As it goes for Shades of Morton in general, it was released into the game October 18th, 2004. These 3 keys featured in this video were attached to that update. By burning the remains and obtaining the keys, you never really know what you're going to get, which is why the 1,000 keys for this video were not even with each other, meaning we had about 233 bronze crimson keys, 351 bronze brown keys, and 416 bronze red keys. As long as it added up to 1,000, that's all that mattered, since the loot from each of those keys is the exact same. I will say I do love that Jagex came back to Shades of Morton after all these years and added new keys, specifically the gold and red key. The loot on screen here is awesome, and not to mention the steel, the black, the silver, those are all decent keys as well, and we are currently working on doing 1,000 of every single tier key related to Shades of Morton, both old and new, because this loot series even has a built-in key playlist featuring Crystal, Muddy, Enhanced, Sinister, and the list just goes on and on. So these Shades of Morton keys will be an excellent addition to this series. That golden key that I mentioned before was released January 27th, but the silver, black, and steel, all of those were yet again on October of 2004. The drops are all based on the tier key, and the description of each one can be found on the Old School RuneScape wiki, so a big shout out to those hardworking guys for keeping up with every single item in the game. Back to the bronze key though, as you can see on screen here, the loot is a little underwhelming. The most expensive item you can receive would be a mithril bar, chaos runes, or the bronze locks. Even though the bronze locks show a value of 5k, we did have trouble selling them for even 1 GP, so I wouldn't trust the price too much on that right now. I just think that they're not a popular item that's being, spread around the Grand Exchange that often. The fact that we didn't get any journals or scrolls, I suppose, means that it's either super rare from these low tier keys, or maybe they're just not accessible, but they still showed up on the wiki for some reason, so I'll have to get back to you guys on that. I also quickly want to say that I do apologize for the lack of videos lately. I've just been doing a lot of different things in real life, and now that that's slowed down a little, the videos and streams will pick up again. I know it's a lot of on again, off again, but it's just kind of how it is right now. Recently for the channel though, to give you guys a little bit of an update, we did just complete 1,000 hard clue scrolls done by Wiggy, and on top of that, I've almost finished loot from 5,000 dragon imps with 100 master clues all on my own, and that is almost completed, so the rest of this month should be great. In addition to that, we of course have the Road to Elysian series. I think we got pretty unlucky with the level 1 clue scrolls for sure. I think overall from the 1,000 keys we did use, we ended up with 17 easy clue caskets. Wish we would have seen more, but overall loot from 1,000 bronze keys from the Shade Catacombs has been completed, so let's go ahead and price check everything in the bank tab and then move on to the clues. If you are curious on how long this took to do, it was only around 10 to 12 hours from what I remember. Once the keys were made, the rest felt like it went by pretty quickly. Looking at the drops, we have over 2,400 chaos runes, close to 7,500 swamp paste, over 100k GP, and about 160 mithril and gold bars. Everything coming out to be 660k overall. Used about 1,200 remains and also the pyre logs to get the 1,000 keys, so overall loss is at 740k right now, which is not the best. Certainly not a good investment of time spent so far, but again, you never know what we can get from those easy clues. This may be the game-changing moment so we make back our money, but it is good to know that the loot from these low-tier keys is just simply that. It's very low tier, and there's not much profit to be seen if you buy all the remains yourself. Those bronze locks not even selling for 1 GP, making back 555k instead of the original 600. It did mean that we made a little bit less than expected, but on our very first easy clue, we made back 551k right away, practically doubling the amount of loot value that we received from those keys. So that's awesome. Really nice to see that golden chef hat. On top of that, we got some studded leather chaps, and shortly after, a blue wizard trimmed robe top. Never expected to see such great profit from these easy clues so early on, and we still have a couple left to open. There's also one thing I forgot to mention when opening these chests, is that occasionally you can spawn a random zombie. So if you do have lower level combat, make sure to bring a little bit of food or protect from melee, and you can avoid him. He is called the Undead Zealot zombie, and Zealot is actually a full set of robes which really helps with prayer, and I will be going over that in our future golden key videos, so stay tuned for that. Alright, all of the level 1 clue scrolls have been opened. That chef hat selling for a nice 549k, which means that overall from these clues we did make an additional 910k to add on to the 571k we received from the keys, meaning that somehow we made a profit of 81k from 1000 bronze Shade of Morton keys. Well, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for the continued support. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.